Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reaction Shots for January. A couple of days later, because Hubie was in Vegas for a work thing, which is very cool. We can't talk about our sister podcast, the Easy Allies podcast. Check it out. This month we are talking about most anticipated for 2025.
Things to look forward to.
Trying to focus on something to look forward to.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. And then before we get to that, we'll talk about what we've liked lately. And I'm going to briefly, I don't know. Do we care about the Oscar nominations? They're insane. But we can.
For the first time in a while, I'm kind of like out.
No, not to tip my hand or anything, but like it just shows the power of corporate campaigning in the nomination cycle. Because
for sure.
Oh my God.
Campaigning, timing, most important thing.
Insane false messaging. Yeah. But I saw it, so I can talk about it in my have I seen lately.
I can't talk shit because I haven't seen like 85% of them this year. So
yeah,
there's always a couple where I'm like, I didn't even hear of that, and I feel like I'm not to sound snooty, but I'm not like my uncle or something like that.
No,
or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
dude.
I watch a lot of movies. So
I'm the same. I'm the same way with
that.
I'm the same way with games. Like when there's a game I haven't heard of, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, not to be snooty, but it's like we're dialed in, you know?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to hear about these things, and like, how did I miss it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do what have we liked lately?
I think you're going first.
Oh yeah, I feel like I don't always go first. Okay,
Yeah, you're going first.
Or this isn't necessarily. It's what we've seen lately, I guess, because I have a rant prepared.
Oh, yes.
But let me do the things I like first.
I'm excited for the rant, Isla.
So we were dicking around on Criterion Channel, and they had a Nicole Kidman, greatest hits or whatever. So I had never seen the Stepford Wives or The Hours.
Oh, I love The Hours.
Dude, me too. Stepford Wives was kick-ass too. I loved it. But The
Hours is like top 10 horror. Oh.
No, you're thinking The Others.
I'm totally thinking of The Others.
The Others is good. The Others is really good.
I'm totally thinking of The Others. Yep.
The Hours is top 10 horror in the sense of just existential.
Wait, I think I've actually seen The Hours too.
The Hours is amazing. It's like
that movie's
it's
incredible.
A story of women and like and kind of like sort of sanctioning your own space and the gay experience, and like it was amazing. I loved The Hours so much that after we watched it, I sat down and I wrote 7 pages of a memoir.
Wow.
And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't care about this. I don't want to write about my own stupid life. Like, what the fuck?
Is Ours Virginia Woolf? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Where she has the prosthetic nose, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was strange. The prosthesis was strange, but the movie was decent. Yeah.
I loved it. I have actually listened to the soundtrack for The Hours like hundreds of times.
Nice.
So finally I saw the movie. We rewatched Silent Hill, which is a good time. That movie is ridiculous.
Tell us about the flesh rip. You got to.
Oh, it's crazy when Pyramid Head just pointlessly rips the flesh off a naked woman. Yeah, like in Silent Hill.
Insane shot.
Crazy, pointless, like completely pointless, way off base, but fun.
You have to see Bottle Rocket because there's this thing where Owen Wilson yells "pointless act." And then it's been in my vocabulary ever since. When something like out of control happens, unrelated to anything, we just yell "pointless act." It's such a great moment from that movie.
That is his only movie I haven't seen. I do need to see that. We watched Carry On, which was fun. We watched Wicked, which was fun. Rewatched The Village. Gave The Village another chance. I liked it a lot more than the first time. I watched Immaculate. Did not like it. They used the generic gate sound 4 times.
I kept waiting for something to happen.
I was like, flabbergasted. It wasn't even like hidden in the mix, the generic gate sound. It was like every door made the exact same sound. I was like, this is a failure of a film.
They did that because nothing happens in the movie.
Yeah.
So they're like, we have to have some creaking in here so it feels like something's about to happen.
Yeah. Literally, what is the point of that movie? Positivity, though, I saw Deadstream. That movie rips. It is from 2022. It's a movie, real low budget horror movie about a like disgraced like prank streamer staying overnight in a haunted house and like has cameras set up and they're on motion sensors and like has GoPros all over himself, and like the setup is really good, and it like one of the rare movies that like I don't think negates its premise like ever. Maybe like one thing is like, how did they see that and we didn't? But like, yeah, it like doesn't go against its own premise. It's really good. I don't know. It's really smart and funny.
I love that movie. I'm obsessed with found footage horror. It's like legit slowly becoming one of my favorite genres.
Yeah. Well, along those lines, I also watched Host, the like COVID era.
That scared the shit
It was
out
so
of me during
scary.
COVID. I watched
intense.
it in the middle of COVID, and I had to stop watching and then like pick it back up again the next day.
Yeah,
'Cause
dude.
I was in the middle of the
And it's
pandemic.
56 minutes long. Like it was one of the scariest movies maybe I've ever seen, because like Ghost.
I'm glad you said that because
No,
I felt like a little
dude.
baby.
Because ghost stuff gets me, you know, because it's like, what do you do? Like you can't do anything. Like
You got to make it happy.
and like the fact that it's just set in people's apartments, you know, I'm like, I live in an apartment. Like that's me. Like so
I
like
love the creativity of it too, when
Yeah.
there weren't many resources in filmmaking at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the protocols were so strict, which I approved of because I wanted everybody to be healthy and not die in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so cool what they were able to accomplish at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the effects all looked really good. Mm-hmm. Like, and they did really clever stuff, like with the girl's background where she's in her own background. Like they set that up and it has a great payoff. Like, just really smart movie. What is not a smart movie? Here, incoming rant. Emilia Perez is like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Here we go. I want to hear all about it.
This
I love
movie
this.
is like, this movie is despicable. And like not only because it is like poorly written, poorly paced, poorly acted, badly sung, badly directed, poorly shot. It's you know, it's offensive to Mexican people, like really offensive to Mexican people, and was made by a guy, like a French cis white guy who like literally said like he didn't need to look into any of this stuff. He knows enough and just did this movie, you know, and like he's just weird and pretentious and problematic and whatever. But then like now all these tweets have surfaced that the main actress has done, and like so she's kind of like had some real shitty thoughts like not that long ago, like 2, 3, 4 years ago on Twitter, like pretty racist stuff and like pretty shitty about George Floyd stuff and like pretty shitty about COVID stuff, and like
Then how does this movie get through?
well because
Because
it's
of that.
it's well but it's another in a long line of like, and this will bring us into the Oscar noms too, but like the campaigning and like it's this year's Blind Side, it's this year's Crash, you know, it's this year's any of those, Green Book, whatever, where it's like, you know, people like Netflix has paid the money to tell the Academy that this movie is important and progressive and like championing these issues, and they just say, oh, okay, it must be, like, we believe you, and like when really it's like we've had films from actual trans filmmakers that this year that are incredible that like aren't anywhere to be seen, you know. And it's just like it's kind of nuts. Like it's kind of really unfortunate. And then you have people like jumping at each other, like being like, oh, the liberal queer media like is picking apart Emilia Perez. It's like, we can't have infighting. This is what they want. And it's like, it's not about that, Charles. It's just a shitty movie, bro. Like, it's a shitty movie. Like, you know, like obviously its most egregious crimes are the racism and transphobia, like grandstanding as the opposite of that. But like, it's just not a good movie. Like, it doesn't need to be a musical. The pacing is terrible. The writing is insane. The plot is bananas. The characters are like broad strokes at best. To speak on the stuff that I actually know anything about is like, the trans representation is, I think, kind of dangerous. Like, it paints her as like, it falls into a lot of tropes, where she like kind of gets violent when she's upset and like gets weird about her kids and like does the whole Mrs. Doubtfire thing. And it's like, it's just such a weird, irksome movie. And it's really bothersome that it's being like touted around as this virtuous, like thing, you know, when it's just not a good movie and it's not a thoughtful movie. And it's like, they dead name and like the doctor that she's going, like that she hires Zoe Saldana to go find places, to like go research places for her transition, right? Because she's this rich drug cartel lady and wants to transition. And so Zoe Saldana, and like literally she says, spare no expense, do this as fast as you possibly can, get on it. And then so Zoe Saldana books a first class ticket to Thailand, which is because she doesn't want to do the surgery in America or Mexico for like safety reasons, because she's the head of a drug cartel in Mexico, which like, yeah, that tracks. So naturally you would go to Thailand, and like there's the whole famous musical number of like, vaginoplasty, yes, like rhinoplasty, yes, whatever. Which is like campy and ridiculous. And if the movie had that tone, like maybe everything would be slightly better, but like she goes to that and like that facility seems great and everything seems fine. And the movie doesn't telegraph that any of this would be bad. And she's very, very enthusiastic about, this is Zoe Saldana acting, you know, her uneducated cis friend who is doing all this work for her, who is being threatened basically to do it, who doesn't really know anything that she's talking about. Like, but the movie doesn't show you that anything is wrong with this place. But then immediately after that scene, two guys working for the drug cartel lady put a bag over Zoe Saldana's head and they say, like, and I'm updating the pronouns because this entire time the movie is using he, right? But like, and the two goons are like, you know, you're not being paid to float around the world spending money on like first class tickets and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, she is. She literally was told to do this as fast as possible. And the first class tickets, like, even if it was an indulgence, they literally said, don't worry about money, just get this done. So that's what she's doing. And like, do you threaten her for that? Then immediately she goes to a doctor in like Israel or something weird. And like, weird because like the other place wasn't bad. They didn't show it to be bad. But then she goes to this dumpy office comparatively where the guy constantly misgenders the lady. And like they sing this insane like half song. None of the songs are actually songs and nobody can sing in this thing. But like they sing this insane half song where they're misgendering her the whole time and dead naming her the whole time about like you can change the ID but not the soul. You can change the body but not the soul. And it's like the scene doesn't give you the impression that the doctor is good or responds to her plight as a trans woman or understands the plight of a trans woman or like cares or like would do the thing like but the movie thinks it's doing that. And then like Zoe Saldana's like, if you'd seen the things that, again, like wrong pronoun they use, but like if you'd seen the things that like the cartel person has shown me, you wouldn't say these things. But it's like, you met her 4 seconds ago. Like what? Shown you what? Like you've been shown nothing. Like, and then they go with that guy to do the surgery.
Hell.
And he like, so you want like the movie doesn't make sense. Like this, I'm saying all this because it's emblematic of how the movie is entirely. Because it's like she goes to this incredible facility where they have this musical number and everyone's really enthusiastic. And then she goes to this dumpy, shitty office where this guy doesn't seem informed at all, and they go with him. And it like just doesn't logistically make any sense within the context of the movie itself. Like even like all of the real world shit notwithstanding, like within the movie, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, dude. It's like the most bizarre, frustrating, just not good movie. And it's flabbergasting to me.
I've never seen a movie so universally hated.
Yes,
And we live in a time of like considerable hate, but like everyone is coming together to just be like, dude, this movie is horrendous.
And it's crazy because I don't even understand how you could like think it's good. Like, and that it has 13 like near record shattering nominations for Oscars.
Like more than Return of the fucking King and like Titanic.
It's like tied with Oppenheimer.
What?
And it's like that to me is Netflix money and campaigning. Like there's no other explanation.
100%.
And like it has posters and billboards everywhere, like in LA at least. Like
it's really unfortunate. Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't say how bad it is, but obviously I trust you more than any human when it comes to talking about movies, especially with like the shared experience of the plot of the movie. So
listen,
like,
and I can't speak to all experiences, obviously, and like I'll shout out
drug cartel runner. Yourself.
Yeah, you know,
I do run a drug cartel.
Iowa.
I do run a drug cartel, and like that stuff's pretty accurate. But I mean, I'll shout out, I can't remember the name of the creators, but a group of I think mostly trans Mexican people made like a 20 or 30 minute parody of Emilia Perez where they're all just dressed as mimes and doing ridiculous bad French accents and like making fun of France. Cause like like if it were flipped and like somebody made a movie that basically just lampoons France, for example, and paints it as like a monolith where everyone is like, I don't know, what are the stereotypes? Like just rude and eating baguettes or whatever. Like people would be upset. Like that's upsetting. And so a movie that does that to Mexico, like paints a beautiful country, as, and like has called it a developing nation, by the way. And it's just like, what? But like paints this beautiful country as nothing but cartel violence and like then grandstands as like trying to do something helpful to like fix cartel violence.
Oh, what?
Well, like, and it's like, it's so offensive. It's like, it's crazy
right now.
Yeah.
Like it's irresponsible for so many reasons. Like you can't just, I don't know. I feel like, I feel this way about games also. We can't simultaneously say that games are important and life-changing while also saying the content in them doesn't matter if it's bad.
Right.
I just feel that way.
Well said.
Yeah. So it's the same way. Like you have a responsibility as like someone with a platform to use that platform well. And that doesn't mean you don't have freedom of speech. Sure,
right.
Go out there and fuck up.
Yeah.
But if you're going to fuck up, we should have the right to criticize you and call you out on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And like that, yeah. I mean, that's my thing is like, I'm not advocating like, of course a French guy can make a movie that's like this. Like, sure. Like, I'm not going to police that. But like, I'm just fascinated by the reaction, mainly of the Academy and the people who like it, because like I don't really see a way to like I've tried to like see, and I watched the movie, I like gave it a try, and I tried to like I was positive up top, the first number I was like, okay, like like this is it's the editing is a little bombastic, but it's a musical and like whatever. And like, and I love musicals, by the way. I was at a Wicked sing-along last night. Like, nice. I've been in many musicals, so it's like, I'm not like some kind of like, I don't like musicals person, but like, but like up top, the first little bit of Emilia Perez, I was like, okay, like, Zoe Saldana like going in, like doing her rap thing in the streets, and like eating at the food cart and things. Like I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm into this. Like kind of neat. Like we're doing sort of like a Hamilton kind of like sing rap kind of a thing. And I'm like, this is cool. But but then it just kept getting like weirder and weirder and weirder. Honestly, the trajectory and sort of political positioning of Emilia Perez is like very similar to Megalopolis. Like, it's like weirdly kind of similar. And like, apparently, you know, at least some of the creatives are sort of conservative in their views and like kind of tracks, you know? And it's like, in a weird way, I'm like, the unintentional trans representation that this movie is actually having is like Caitlyn Jenner, where it's like, we can suck too. Like, and to me, it's like, when society is healed and everything is actually fine and everyone just gets to be who the fuck they are and it's not a goddamn political issue, like, that's part of the reality of human beings. Is like, in every group there are, you know, people you'll agree with and people you don't, you know? And so in a weird way, it's like, yeah, okay, like I don't agree with you. Like, and that's part of the tapestry of human experience. Like, so there's, you know, some kind of weird representation, but it's grandstanding as like this, like, pill against fascism. And I'm like, you're kind of a symptom though, aren't you? Like, so
the first, this was posted today. The very first user review of this movie is 1 star. As a Mexican, this is the most ridiculous and offensive movie I have ever watched.
Yeah.
Right? But then the critical consensus, Isla, is Carla Sofia Gascon is Emily Perez in a swaggering musical crime thriller of genre-bending fascination that is also an unapologetically trans story.
That's how they've...
But, like...
Yeah.
It's like, that's how they frame it, and it's like, I wonder how many of the reviewers like have that actual experience to like write about that. It's like, oh, they're just seeing a trans story and they're like automatically just thinking it's good.
I mean,
because it's representing them on screen.
That's why I think it's like Green Book or Blindside or any of those where it was like you know, Janet's first fucking racism experience, you know, where it's like it's like, because it's touching on it at all, and the people who are paying for it are saying that it's virtuous and doing it well. You know, if you're uninformed, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't have a life experience or, you know, like that, like, I don't even fault people for having that opinion. Like, I don't think that they're, I think that they're just like not all the way informed, you know, which is not somebody's fault. Like, I'm empathetic to a fault maybe. And like, because I can understand people's different perspectives in that regard, where I'm like, yeah, you just don't know. Like, do I think that every person can be you know, educated and enlightened to, you know, the pretty simple facts of reality? I'm not sure, but like,
well, now it's their time.
I think a lot of people just don't know better, you know, and it's like, you can't really fault them about but on the flip side of that coin, like, it's not great representation for any of the things that it's touting to be representative of. I mean, like, yeah, they cast appropriately, except for the fact that they didn't cast people who could speak Mexican Spanish in a few cases, which is kind of a silly choice when you're doing a Mexican Spanish film, but whatever. But like, you know, as far as the trans representation goes, like, it's just kind of, it's so broadly painted, and like, the touchstones are there, but they handle most of them incorrectly. Like giving someone...
apparently the director knew enough already.
He knew enough. He didn't need to look into it. But like, they do a weird thing where it's like, the drug cartel lady is absolved of all of her sins and then goes on to like be sainted by the people because she's like used her knowledge of where she buried the bodies to like give justice to the families. And it's like, because she transitioned, the movie treats it like the previous, her previous orientation, like, didn't happen, or like didn't, like, that person died, which, like, in a sense, it's complicated, but, like, you do mourn some aspects of your previous life, like privilege, for example, but, like, it's not, you're not like, you don't get a reset, you're still the same bitch. You just, like, look better and are happier and don't feel fucked up constantly. But, like, it's not, like, if you killed someone or hundreds of people when you're running your drug cartel and then you transition, that doesn't make it so you didn't kill hundreds of people, and it's like, the movie, like, kind of is, like, about, if you're being generous, it's maybe she would be trying to atone for that by starting this charity to save, or to, like, help find the identify the bodies and all that stuff that she starts, and it's like, yeah, she does that, but it's, like, not even really positioned as, like, the movie doesn't, in my read anyway, is, like, it doesn't paint it as trying to atone. It paints it as trying to, like, self-aggrandize. Like, it feels like ego. I don't know. Anyway, we've jabbered on about this movie way too long, but yeah.
It's the biggest fucking story, I feel like, in movies right now, and you have, like, a personal, like, vested stake in it, because it's about, I still, like, it's that experience
crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, so many people are talking about it, but, like, how many people are trans, how many people are Mexican, like, there's just, like, so much about this movie, and it's like, I want to hear from the people that it's about.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't speak for, again, no community is a monolith. I don't speak for everybody, like, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that resonated with parts of it, and, like, I don't want to say, like, that you're wrong to find something to like in Emilia Perez. I've
never seen a more
there were
hated
things in it I liked, but, like, I just think that even if it was well-intentioned, which I think the creators believe it was, I think it missed the mark on a couple of things pretty widely. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, you can still do harm with good intentions. And
Yeah.
that's the sucky part about life.
Yeah.
But part of trying to do good in the world is learning from your mistakes. None of us are born fully equipped, and then we learn as we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I always
apologize.
Well, I always get so nervous, like, voicing this intense of a negative opinion about something on the internet, because people tend to come, like, clap back, sort of. So, it makes me nervous to talk about, but I don't know.
No,
Movie has
I'm
an
glad you did.
18% user score, so I think no one's really defending this movie.
I mean, it's weird though, because it's like, I could see a movie that's, like, that actually did trans issues right, having an 18% just because of, like, review bombing or something, So it's like,
So right, you're so right.
You really can't
right.
can't tell in this world, like, I don't know, we're beyond the pale, man. Like, everything is insane now. Like, I mean, it always has been, but, like, it's so much worse. Like, God almighty. Anyway.
Straight up.
Severance is back, and that's pretty chill. Happy about
I can't wait to get into it. There's spoilers everywhere. I hate those YouTube thumbnail spoilers.
Yeah.
For shows you
I know, I
love.
gotta
Like,
keep
it
my
means
head
that
down.
you can't wait. Yeah.
Severance especially, I feel like you gotta stay on top of that, because baby, like, things be happening. Yeah,
It's a great show.
it's really fun. Yeah, Silo season 2 was pretty tight. Like, that's a
I'm still not done.
that's a slow burn show where it's like you can skip a season and you'll won't get spoiled because like only 4 things will happen. But like
yeah.
I really love it, so it's like
a very slow burn.
it's an incredibly slow burn, but I still like it. At most, I don't know, like how much of that is just because I love Rebecca Ferguson. I don't know.
Carries it on her back.
Yeah.
She is so good in that show.
She's incredible. She's wonderful. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Off my soapbox.
Love it.
Oh, God. What have you seen lately, Matt?
I saw One of Them Days with Keke Palmer. And
Oh, that looks so good.
I've seen billboards for it.
It's very good. I thought it would be like a fun, good time, but it was a fun, great time.
Ooh.
Like, hilarious. I really enjoyed it. And I was kind of in the like spirit of, yeah, I'll see this. And it's like, no, you should see this. Like, I think it'll probably end up being one of the year's best comedies.
I really want it.
It was that level of great. Just laughs like every like 20 seconds kind of movie. And relatable if you've ever struggled financially, if you are struggling financially, just that spirit of like, what am I going to do now? And life is just throwing you hit after hit after hit, but funny all the way through. And Keke Palmer is just so funny and relatable in it. And also, I mean, it's an LA movie through and through. There are some movies that are like set in LA, but there are some movies that are LA movies where you're like, yeah, this feels like it's about my hometown. And even though I am a recent LA, like, what's the word for you left it?
Transplant?
Like I left it.
Have you left? Yeah.
Yeah.
Expatriate?
Expatriate is the word I'm
Expatriate.
looking for. I still kind of halfway consider LA my hometown because I lived there longer than anywhere in my life. And as soon as the movie starts, you're just like, LA. Especially because, you know, as you two know, living in LA, you know, it's been a rough month for LA, a rough ass month.
Yeah.
So seeing like LA, a different LA, a pre-fires LA, you're just like, it feels like a LA tribute already that it probably wasn't intended to be when it was filmed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
One of Them Days, just a great feeling film.
I gotta see it. Is it just in theaters right now, or is it on the streaming?
I
pretty
don't
sure
know
it's
the
just
answer to
theaters.
that, but
Okay.
I think it's just in theaters so far.
Yeah.
But movies hit streaming so
Oh,
quickly.
yeah.
I imagine it'll be streaming soon.
Everything does. Tarantino's new rant. He's pissed. That was a good one.
Movies are over.
Movies are over.
He's always
dramatic.
pissed.
He's so dramatic. Yeah, he probably was just in negotiations for his 10th film, and they
Totally.
wanted to go
Yeah.
streaming, and he
He's
went
pissed.
to go fine.
Totally.
Yeah,
But even Nolan, remember Nolan with the whole streaming thing or the
yeah,
Warner
that was
Brothers,
mid-pandemic though. Like,
Yeah,
I was pissed at
exactly. So
him.
different.
He
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
people to
yeah.
go get sick. So
I mean,
fuck him.
shout out to
Yeah. He did, yeah.
shout
Yeah.
out to the unfortunately late great David Lynch when he was just like, "Film is dead. I love digital. Digital all the way.
that.
Film is over. It's a
I
dinosaur."
I saw him say that
Yeah.
like at like Westwood. I went to go see a screening of Blue Velvet.
Oh.
He said that like in person, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did not share his beliefs at the time.
Yeah,
This is
Soderbergh.
pre-Inland Empire, and I was like,
Yeah, Inland
okay,
Empire,
I don't
dude.
think I don't think I agree with you.
All autofocus.
I disagreed, David Lynch.
He makes it work, dude. I love it.
He does make it work. I don't know if I agreed for the general philosophy, but he made it work for himself.
Yeah.
But
Like anything, it's a
speaking-
tool, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of David Lynch, though, I did watch a lot of David Lynch. You know, rip
Yeah.
to a real one. You know, I was lucky to see Fire Walk with Me in theaters this past month.
Did they did a
after
screening?
he died. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd never seen that one in theaters, which is
Yeah.
that's a rough one. That's one of his rougher ones. That's one of his rougher ones, especially if you haven't seen Twin Peaks before. I won't say anything, but it's rough.
It's intense. Are you talking rough like in content or in filmmaking?
Content.
Yeah. I was gonna say content. It's
polished. It's
very
polished
rough.
in filmmaking. Yeah, content very rough. And so I was like, okay, that was Fire Walk with Me. Yeah, just as intense. It's like, I mean, it hits hard at home, but it hits very hard in the theater.
I bet.
Yeah, but it was good to finally see that. And then I watched his Dune again.
I've still never seen it. That's the only one I've never seen.
Crazy.
I'd seen it before, and I thought it was goofy and not that great. But I watched the new Dunes again back to back, and I watched his Dune immediately after, just like on a Dune mood. And his Dune, I thought, like in context of all the other ones, I thought it had its contributions.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad because I had like all that information fresh in my mind, and in combination, I was like, okay, it adds some useful context. It's good. It's not terrible. It's not great. But, it belongs in the Dune universe.
At least he attempted to tackle the Spacing Guild, because, like, Villeneuve's universe has maybe smartly avoided showing them, because that is real out there.
Oh, yeah. There are some things that were completely excised from the newer ones. That do show up in Lynch's Dune.
I'm very curious, without getting into spoilers, how they're going to handle Dune Messiah, because things get kind of unavoidably weird, if I understand correctly, in that one. But yeah.
And then I jump right into Dune Prophecy, which I know the two of you have been watching, and I had not started yet. And it's fun. It's good.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's
good. Yeah, hell yeah.
Totally solid.
Totally solid.
Yeah. The dialogue is a little clunky. Maybe the acting or directing is not as natural as I would prefer.
Yeah. It's a step below that, like, top tier for sure.
But it is fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, it's fascinating, and it more than makes up for those, like, little, like, edges that I prefer were slightly more polished. And I can't recommend it enough if you were even slightly interested in the Dune movies. If you were like, I had a good time at the Dune movies, you need to see Dune Prophecy, because it does some things that I think that are even more interesting than the Dune movies in some ways. I wouldn't say they're better, but there's some shit that goes down in these where you're like, oh, whoa, this is cool. This is very cool. Yeah.
There was I won't say what it is, but there was a revelation that like challenged my beliefs in the Dune universe, where I was like, no way, they can't be doing this. Like, no, like, yeah.
I don't know if I've gotten that far yet. But I have not read any of the Dune, like, early things. All I read was the first Dune book. That's it. That's the only thing I've read. So
I've only
all this
read
stuff
Dune
is
1.
new to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized that, like, and this isn't a spoiler for the show because they get into this almost immediately in the first episode, but that, like, Dune is somewhat like Terminator related.
Yeah.
That the whole thing is like, oh, machines got out of control and destroyed everything.
Yeah.
And now machines are like artificial
I
intelligence.
know, that's what I want to see.
And I was like, oh,
yeah,
I had no idea.
The Butlerian
Dune was related
Jihad.
to that. Yeah.
Like that.
That's cool.
The Machine Wars, which were 10,000 plus years before Paul Atreides, and this takes place like 170 years after. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. And definitely, if you love that witchy voice, we were doing this before the show.
Oh, yeah.
Take out the blade.
Really good witchy voice.
Put it in your neck.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 witchy voice in that show.
Yeah, you get a lot of that. If you enjoy that, you get tons of that. That stuff's fun. Yeah.
10 out of 10 witchy voice.
And then I finally watched this show that I thought had the dumbest name. I hated the name. I did not understand what the show was. It would show up on Netflix on the thumbnail, and I was like, fuck that show. Just because I hated the name so
name.
much. Yeah, it was called Kunk on Earth, and I was like, ugh.
She's hilarious.
That name looks so bad. But yeah, it's a great show. So I thought it was just like some sitcom or some British sitcom. And I was like, why would they name it something so awful? I hate it. But then, like, I didn't realize it was like a Borat type
It's her character.
show. Yeah, it's like a BBC type mockumentary. And then I could wrap my head around it.
Philomena
she's the
Kunk.
host. Yeah, she's the host. And she interviews academics. And she says, like, horribly ignorant things to the academics, and the real academics have to respond to the weird, dumb things she says. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Like she was in the National Museum in Oslo in front of the painting by what's his name? The one who did The Scream. And she goes, Drew Barrymore dies at the end or at the beginning of this painting. And the guy's just like, what? So good.
Yeah, I don't think he'd even heard of the movie Scream before because they're
perfect.
So
it's
entrenched
perfect.
in the academic world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This sunlight keeps chasing my face, and
I
I'm like,
see.
It's like the afternoon over here, and the sun's setting. But yes, it's very funny. If you like the Borat Bruno type humor, it's a different take on it, and these academics are just like flabbergasted that she would say such ignorant things. And it's a very British take on it.
She had an interview with I think Colbert, and he was like, do you have to do a lot of research so that you know, like, do you have to know everything so you know how to say the wrong things? And she's like, no, I don't know anything. She's like, I know as little as I possibly can. And I was like, that's the way to do it.
Quite enjoyable. And the name, if you found yourself like me, if you listen to this show, I'm snooty as fuck. I have all these stuck-up opinions, these stuck-up political opinions, these stuck-up art opinions.
Don't seem stuck up to me.
I don't know.
You seem level-headed.
You seem very humble to me.
Well, anyway, the name repulsed me instantly, and I was wrong. I can easily also admit when I'm wrong. Luckily, that's my saving grace.
I love being wrong.
It's true.
Educate me.
It's great being wrong because then you can that's the thing about learning when you're wrong is you get to be cooler and better. That's the thing. Don't be afraid to be wrong.
I wish society would embrace that.
Yeah. It hurts a little to be wrong at first, and then you get to be cooler and better afterwards. It's amazing. It's amazing to be wrong. Anyway. Clunk on Earth, I was wrong. It's fun. Yeah, check it out. And then The Great, which I mentioned I'd been watching before. Oh, yeah. Nick Holt, our favorite show,
Love Nick
friend
Holt.
Friend of the show, Nick Holt.
I wish.
We're friends of his.
Wish.
He needs to be friends of ours.
God, I wish.
And then
Nick Holt, call us up.
Yeah. We'll get him on the show. Why not? You dream big first, and the big dreams happen.
Aim high and land amongst the stars.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mentioned liking the first season. The second season, whoa. The second season just becomes phenomenal.
Oh,
there are 3 seasons. It's about, Peter and Catherine the Great, and she does this revolution to overthrow him and overthrow the government. And it is comedic and philosophical and a bit of a very perverse love story, and it really blossoms in the second season, and it's probably the best thing I'm watching on television within the past year.
Wow.
Yeah, The Great is so good. Full-throated endorsement.
Would you say that it's great?
It is great.
Friend of mine said just how fucking funny it is too, to echo what you have been saying.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. It's a combination of very smart and very juvenile at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
It's good.
Cool, and that's it for me.
Nice.
Oh no, I forgot the most important thing. Sorry, I'll cut. And after this, I'll cut myself off. The girl with the needle.
Time.
Oh yeah, what? Tell us about this. What is this?
The Girl with the Needle. If I had watched it's nominated for an Academy Award for Best Foreign Film.
Okay.
Best category.
I knew which country. I think it's one of the Nordic countries.
Let me check.
Maybe Denmark.
I have the list here.
Maybe it's a Dutch film.
Denmark.
Anyway, Denmark. Okay. Yeah. So it's black and white. It's hard to pitch it in a way that sounds cool, but wow, this is a cool movie. It is very dark, and it's about a woman. These all are going to sound so boring and dry, but I promise you, this is not a dry movie. It's just you want to keep the surprises for the viewer. It's a woman who works in a textile factory, and her husband is lost in World War I and hasn't come home. And she starts hooking up with the guy who actually runs the textile factory.
Okay.
And her life takes wild twists and turns that I did not expect. And it's based on a intense news story that happened in real life at the time. And I would not look up what that intense news story is because I did not see the movie going in this direction. Every 20 minutes, this turns into a different movie. And I was like, I did not see this becoming this type of movie. It just keeps revealing itself as a new type of movie. And by the end, it was just so dark and so stunning. I would compare it to, if you watch the movies of Fassbinder, the German director, feels like Veronica Voss. It also felt like the book Geek Love, that carnival book. If anyone read that book about carnivals, Geek Love by Catherine Dunn. That is a close comparison to me. Very dark, very intense about the struggles of poverty and women, but also with such a lively and intense and mischievous eye, and about doing anything to remain alive. Just cool. And it would have been my favorite movie last year, but might just have to be my favorite movie this year. I was blown away by it.
Hell yeah.
Very, very touching too, but not in a sentimental way. Touching in a dark way. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's it then.
Huber, what have you seen lately?
Yeah, I watched Fleabag season 1.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Oh, 55 out of 10, dude.
Yeah.
God damn, that's one of the best shows ever made.
It's so funny because the end of season 1, I thought, because I knew there was a season 2, but if I didn't know there was a season 2, I thought the end of season 1 would have gone differently because she was so depressed.
Oh yeah.
So it was but then I heard that that's how the actual play ends, and I was like, I think I would like that more. It just ends when she's on the street right there.
Oh,
I'm like, that's way fucking cooler than
Oh well, wait until
I know season 2. I know. But I was I really if it yeah.
Because I've
10 out of 10.
I went to after having seen the show both seasons. We went and saw maybe with Gabby, I don't remember, but we went to see a broadcast of her one woman stage play, but it was one that she had performed after the show.
Yeah.
And I assume she had changed it to make her characterizations of the other characters match the show, because she was doing impressions of the characters, and they were perfect to the actors that played them in the show.
Yeah.
It was really fascinating, but it was really interesting to see the stage version, because how it was very similar but different in some ways. It was really good.
Yeah, there were so many funny parts, and just watching it from the male perspective, I'm sure is different than being a woman, but just some of the guys and the things they say and do in season 1, I'm just oh my god. So yeah, it was.
That's funny. I didn't think about that. The whole time I watched it, I was just oh my god, I'm Fleabag.
I fucking loved it. Because I also watched Baby Reindeer.
Oh my god.
And I thought, and I was like, that was an intense show.
That's what everyone says. There have been big raves about it, but also, everyone says it's intense.
Sophia was watching it, and I caught scenes here and there, and I was like, this is maybe too heavy for me.
Yeah, trigger warnings for Baby Reindeer for sure. You open that one with caution.
Just the fact that the creator is doing his own life story and lived all that and was willing to relive it to make the show is it's incredible. It's wild. I don't want people to feel that they have to do that, but if they're able, holy cats, that's bananas.
Way less funny than Fleabag because they both are like so. They're both like talking about important shit and like important experiences, but Fleabag is like darkly funny, whereas Baby Reindeer gets like, yeah.
Did you watch Black Doves yet? I can't remember if we talked about Black Doves on here. I really liked Black Doves. Yeah,
loved it. I was big
in
on
the middle, but
Day of the Jackal though was like
I gotta see that.
Most
I really gotta see
favorites recently. American Primeval, that Peter Berg Western one.
Is it good?
It was a fun watch. It's not. It's more of an action thing. You know what I mean? So frame that in. It's less like historical epic, and it's more like, all right, this is like a Western action, but a really good cast of characters all the way around.
Yeah.
I like that main actress from Glow. I can't remember her name, but from the TV show Glow about wrestlers. She's really good.
She's good. And I love Taylor Kitsch. Yeah. And there's like really, you gotta have good Native American stuff, and American Primeval absolutely does.
Oh, good.
Tons of subtitles, tons of like main characters, like real deal good shit.
I had written a Western feature film post college, and I'm rewriting it now, and like trying to look up like how to write in like Navajo, and stuff, and I'm just like I'm just gonna say like speaks in Navajo, this is what they're saying, and I'm gonna have to consult because like I don't.
Yeah.
It's too hard. I'm like, I love it, and like, I recently rewatched The Terror, because Sophia had never seen it, season 1, and I love The Terror, and like I feel like the way that they handle the like I don't know if it was the Inuits or exactly, but like the Inuktitut maybe. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's for you, Matthew. Twilight of the Warrior.
You watched it?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so curious.
So
because I haven't talked to anyone who saw it.
God. 10 out of 10.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Here's my number one takeaway is, and this is why I like John Wick Chapter 4 the most. I'm going to reference John Wick and the raid and action stuff. The older John Wicks and even like the raid and stuff, the best of these like new age like action fucking kung fu, just like crazy action movies, a lot of them feel so staged, and it's impossible for them not to feel that way. Dude, this movie felt, I didn't feel the stagedness once in this movie. It felt like real people were just fighting.
It's a little chaotic, yeah.
Yes.
Chaotic and goofy.
Which movie is it? What is it?
Twilight of the Warrior.
Okay.
Walden.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes. It's the one in like Kowloon, Wild City in Hong Kong.
Oh, crazy.
In the
you
late
told me
80s.
about that.
Yeah.
Great
that huge
cast.
towering like Judge Dredd. I forgot what that name in Judge Dredd is. Of that
Peach trees.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take peach trees.
Very similar to that location. Yeah.
Love peach trees.
Incredible action in this movie that feels so natural and innovative and just next level. It is
very
like
bouncy. It's
dude,
bouncy.
So bouncy. I really feel like it is another one of those landmark movies, like The Raid, like fucking John Wick. Like, boom, here it is. Twilight of the Warriors.
I'm so glad you watched it. Oh,
yeah, top
thank you.
tier.
I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Yeah.
10 out of 10. Recommend for sure. Dude, another one you're gonna love that I watched. Feeling sad, feeling melancholic. As tears go by, Wong Kar-wai.
Oh yeah, big Wong Kar-wai fan.
Yeah,
that one
his
is
first.
that one's a little challenging to understand. I found
Totally.
Yeah, I'm like, what's happening?
His debut, because
here?
it's rough. It's super low budge and rough. There's casual incest in it, which is like never even addressed. Like as a main plot point, and
Whoa.
it's just like, yeah.
Didn't expect you to say that.
I know. And then I was like, what's the deal with this incest in this movie?
What's the deal? Yeah,
What's the deal with this?
That's my
And,
response to any time that happens on a movie.
What's the deal
And
with this?
and people were like, people had all sorts of opinions. Well, like, oh, well, if it's a cousin, like a distant cousin, it's like okay here, and then in like these different countries, like it's not a big. And I'm just like, this is not okay at all in my view, but some people are cool with it. Whatever, like.
He does know
Like,
how to
alright.
end a movie. I will say that. Like the way he ends movies, the shots they end on, they give you a feeling. They leave you with a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as tears go by, does definitely. Yeah.
I really think he's the melancholic master of
It's true.
like deep,
Yeah.
introspective, like somber. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
just-
like In the Mood for Love is like
yeah, the
just like
masterpiece.
goat,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the goat of longing. Like holy fuck.
Yeah. Longing. Great word for
Often
it.
you
Yeah.
can be like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling this movie completely, and then his final
Yeah.
shots, you'll be like, oh, he got me. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to skip over a bunch because I rewatched just a lot of my favorite movies ever in the last month. I'm just going to run them by, like The Yellow Sea, one of my all-time favorite Korean movies. I saw The Devil, 10 out of 10. Unforgiven, my favorite Western ever made. 13 Assassins,
Yo,
I love.
dude, hell
so
yeah, dude.
sick.
Yeah, me
I
too.
fucking love them.
Yep. Inception, just
Yeah.
felt like watching Inception. Fucking, dude. Also, like, I think people forget how melancholic Inception is. That is like a sad movie.
It
There's
really
like
is.
a lot of sadness in
It's
that
about
movie.
grief.
Once you get to the
Yes.
core of those layers of dreams and
Yes.
it's climbing down, right there in the middle.
And Marion Cotillard in that movie is like one of my favorite things ever. One of my favorite performances. She's so good in that movie. And it's so funny because then when she teams with Nolan again in The Dark Knight Rises, it's like top 5 most hated performances of all time.
Yeah, there was some issues with Rises for sure.
Of course. TMNT, the original 1990s.
Oh my god.
rated
Were
R
you
movie.
self-soothing
Casey
this
Jones.
month? Like, why were you watching these old favorites?
A couple of these I watched with Gabby, but mostly self-soothing as
Yeah.
well. She's like, hey, like, feel like watching a good movie. Like, what's a good movie? I was like, dude, we'll throw this on. She was just at home, and I was like, dude, we'll sync it up right now.
Oh
Let's
my god,
go.
classic.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 play, dude. Yeah.
The 3, 2, 1 play. Shawshank.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, hitting all the melancholic shit.
That's why we were quoting that the other day, and
yeah.
I was like, "Do you trust your wife?
Do you trust your
Do
wife?
you trust your wife? Being needlessly obtuse."
And then the last couple that are like somewhat relevant to the conversation is Sicario.
Oh my god, yeah.
That movie fucking
Emily
handles,
Blunt, yeah.
dude. You were talking about like Mexican cartels and shit with,
Yeah.
you know, Emilia Perez, and it's I just really hope we get a Sicario 3 because they already like cracked the seal. They already did the thing where they did Sicario 2, and it's fine.
I never saw Sicario 2.
It is totally decent.
But doesn't it? I guess I don't know. Maybe I was being like sanctimonious, but like Sicario to me is like it's like a hugely important resonant film wrapped in the skin of a like crime thriller, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yep.
like it seems like sequels to that would only kind of, you know, diminish that. Like,
100%. Like, one on its own is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
2 is just a fine action movie.
Okay.
And then it falls to 3 to like bring it all together because at least 2, same writer, obviously Villeneuve didn't direct it.
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan wrote it, but then they have Benicio and Brolin, who are 2 like really complicated, really dark, like pretty much villains, but like. So it's like really interesting to focus on them because the whole point of the first one obviously is like, dude, Emily Blunt, like being a part of this and like the moral like obligations and questions. So by focusing on them in the second one, then if you bring her back in the third one, I feel like it could just wrap it all up in a nice little, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Cause it's like, again, if they had just stopped with one, it would have just been this like that's it. It's like Sicario one-off, one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And then lastly, oh my fucking God, have you both seen what is now like literally one of the best movies of all time, M? Fritz Lang, M.
Oh yeah,
I haven't actually. That's one of my blind spots.
Yeah, it is so good. It is so good,
dude. 1931. You could convince me this movie was made in the 50s or 60s. The entire time,
so
I was
early for that to come out. Yeah,
I was like, this movie is fucking 30 years ahead of its time. Every 10 minutes that went by, I'm just like, what?
You want the speakers cranked up for that too. The sound on it is amazing.
Dude, the 30s?
The use of sound,
The 30s were like a Wild West in filmmaking in like all the like interesting ways, because like there were some movies that are like fucking crazy coming out of the 30s. Like,
I was like, how is this movie 1931? How is this movie real?
Some good footsteps in that. Yeah,
good footsteps. Peter Lorre is a child serial killer in 1931. So heavy. There's a lot of interesting elements to this movie. Obviously, it's in Germany in 1931. There is like the Nazi Party is a thing that was like, you know, concerned about the production of this movie. Fritz Lang is anti-Nazi. That is just to be so clear about that. Even the Nazis used some of the footage for like propaganda. I don't know like what part, but they used some.
Whoa.
And yeah, just a lot of innovations like tracking shots, leitmotifs. This was like one of the first movies to use a leitmotif, which I didn't even know what the fuck it was. Yeah, this movie is fucking
in the music, you mean?
Yeah. He's like whistling a lot of shit throughout this movie.
Okay.
And it's really crazy. It's like a film noir, obviously, which has roots in like German movies.
Yeah.
And like film noir wasn't even a term until like the 40s, like way later. So yeah, this movie just blew me away.
Because of little black pulp novels in France, fun fact.
Yeah. Dude, crazy, yeah. I know, I'm forgetting.
He's one of
my
the best.
teacher.
He's one of the absolute best directors. And he came over to America and made some American movies because of Nazis. Because
he was like, I gotta get the troubles
gotta get
at
the
the
fuck
time.
out of here. Yeah.
God
So,
damn.
literally like 10 out of 10 masterpiece, blown
Really
away. Blown away. So, yeah. That's it.
God damn, I gotta watch M.
It was great. It was so great. Just like, I love that feeling when you're just watching like the best art. You're just like, this is doing something. This is like the best of the best possible for like what it is, the time it came out, like just everything about it. Like,
It's my shoulders feel good. I'm like, it tingles. Yeah.
I mean, that is literally the reason to be alive.
Yes.
to view and create art, in my opinion. Anyway.
Incredible.
Not the only way to be alive. It's how
one of
I'm
the
alive.
absolute best reasons. Totally.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, I gotta see that one.
Great.
Choo. Okay.
May 11th, 1931 release date. That is
Hot
crazy.
damn.
It is fucking crazy.
Sometimes you watch the old movies that are like, you know, just talked about and heralded, and you're like, no, that was good. I can see why. And sometimes you watch it and you're like,
and you're like, oh my god.
Good. Totally.
People, I feel like, don't give credit to, I mean, especially pre-Hays Code, but like, 30s, early 40s movies where it's like how scary they can be, how like violent and edgy they can be, how
so
like
dark. This movie
how
is
dark they can be, and how like funny or sexy they can be. Sometimes all of these at once. Like
totally.
there are like some of the hottest scenes in movies are just talking in like older movies where they can't maybe show stuff. I mean, in the 30s they could have, but like in the 40s and 50s, you're just like, God damn, this is hot. Like they can't do anything about it, but it's awesome.
I wonder like the origin of that film concept, because this movie did that, Isla. This movie like didn't show, you know, things were about to go down, and it would like have it be in shadow, or like turn the camera away slowly and you hear
Implied
noises
horror.
and it's like, oh my God, it's more extreme than showing it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they told us that in film school, and you see it from just movies, but like your audience will always, everyone will make it the worst version for them, like that they could imagine if you don't quite show it, and like that's why some of the best horror stuff, hits the hardest if you just almost show it, like barely show it.
And then the last closing thought on it was the like psychology, the like, what is the word I'm looking for? The like
Psychology?
just I guess it's just like it was like this movie really tackles questions that are still being debated today.
Oh, yeah.
And I like really appreciated that, just like what makes you who you are, and like what is okay. Like, it's like,
it's always such an interesting thing to, see a movie from 100 years ago or read a book from 500 years ago. Like how, like in a lot of ways it's heartening, and in some ways it's sometimes disheartening, where it's like, oh, we were dealing with this back then too. Like, and like sometimes you're like, that's really nice. Like people have always been like this. Like people have always been, like I recently saw like old Hollywood like bloopers, and like it was really awesome to see these, like, the ones that resonated with me are like women when like something went wrong, and like Katharine Hepburn or whatever, just being like her character's all buttoned up or whatever, and then like she flubs a line, she's just like, oh god damn it, like it just sounds like 2025, like it's just like, oh okay, you're a person, got it. And then it's also like, oh, you were dealing with these issues back then too, like that's when it's like, oh no. Like, but yeah.
Oh, you had trolls in 1782?
Yeah, like,
Just
oh.
letters, yeah.
Yeah, it's just slower. Okay, we are getting into the most anticipated movies and TV shows for 2020 fizzle. Definitely seems like a fizzle so far, but we'll see. So I asked our patrons at patreon.com/reactionshots. Check it out. $3, you get the Discord. You get in on these conversations. It's a really great little group we've got going. We're just doing this show because we love it, but spread the word, tell people, review things, give us a like on YouTube. It really helps. Oh yeah, I'm Isla, that's Matt, and that's Huber. We didn't do that this episode. So join up if you feel like it. We'd love to have you. No pressure though. If you want to just listen, shoot a like, that's free. Tell your friends. All right. Boo. Let's see. Okay, I asked our patrons what their most anticipated movie was in 2025 and most anticipated show, and just like if there's anything else they want to talk about. Here we go. Mark Hallinan says, I'm extremely excited to finally see Gareth Evans' new action film, Havoc.
That was the first fucking thing I was going to say. Somebody better fucking say Havoc. Let's go.
Starring Tom Hardy and Timothy Oliphant. I love Timothy Oliphant. And Tom Hardy.
Fucking go. I've been waiting for this movie for fucking years.
Okay, I hadn't heard of this, I guess. Like,
ready.
I say ready. Finally, as it was actually filmed in 2021, but has seen multiple reshoots and various delays, but will eventually land on Netflix this spring. Wow. The plot finds Tom Hardy as a grizzled detective who has to fight through the criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son. Sign me up. Timothy Oliphant also stars in the much-anticipated Alien Earth, helmed by Noah Hawley in 2025. Looking pretty Oliphant-tastic, if you ask me. I'm very excited for Alien Earth. I'm very confused, and I guess that they're folding in the AVP, lore or something.
That can't be true.
No, because I'm just guessing that because it's a prequel, but there's an alien on Earth.
Yeah.
Which in the Alien without AVP, that didn't happen to my knowledge. But AVP is like, oh, the aliens have been hanging out in the ice for thousands of years because the predators hunt them in the little cube trap buildings.
All canonical.
And it can't be after resurrection because that's like way.
No, yeah, and Earth is like destroyed by then. No, it's a prequel. Pre-Alien, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you are looking just at the Alien movies, the company does seem to know about the xenomorphs, even though the regular people don't. So I think that maybe it's going to be dealing with that. I don't know.
Some Prometheus shit.
I trust
Paul Reiser CGI, make him younger.
Oh my god. I trust Noah Hawley though.
Guy Pearce reveal himself.
Guy Pearce, dude. I trust Noah Hawley. Like I was pretty. I don't know if I was anti Fargo before it came out, but I was like, I don't know, dude.
I kind of
like,
was.
I know. I was like, this is one of the best movies ever made, bro. What are you doing? But then Fargo delivered. Like every season's pretty great.
Yeah.
And like most of them are awesome. Mm-hmm. So I trust Noah Hawley, and I really liked Legion as well. So, finally, and with some trepidation, I am looking forward to Tron Ares. I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Leto, but maybe his particular brand of acting will be a good fit for the grid. I'm most intrigued to hear the soundtrack due to the fact that it's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross under the banner of Nine Inch Nails. I didn't know they were actually doing it under the banner of Nine Inch Nails. That's cool. And what the distinction will be there. Possibly more industrial and gritty than their previous soundtrack work, if I had to guess. Yeah. Speaking of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, I'm very surprised they weren't nominated for their soundtrack to Challengers. That's a snub. Yeah, because the Oscars are a sham.
Can I have my daily hot take?
Okay, activate.
Tron is trash. Always has been. Absolute. It is. Throw it in there with all those old movies that like the boomers love that they think are good that just do not hold up and are not good.
It's not only is it trash, good. Throw it in the trash. That's very hot. It never really did anything for me, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna like throw it out. Yeah, but like
Tron,
you can't have it. Not only is it trash, we're getting rid of it.
Yep, Tron Legacy.
Here's the thing: is like
they're not good.
What is it? It's biodigital jazz, man. You can't get rid of it.
But that's what it is. Is like Tron traffics entirely on vibes, and like people think just of the vibes, and they don't think about the actual experience of watching these slogs. And like,
dude, slogs. Tron is a slog.
And Tron Legacy is tell don't show. Like it could have been really good, but had just kind of a lot of nothing in it. But I think that they were getting, dicked around on budgets and stuff like that. Like I don't know, but the soundtrack is so fucking good that you're just like, it's vibes. It's like how
it's a music video.
It's like how Annapurna like made its company on a certain shade of magenta, where it's just like in the gaming space, like it's just the vibes, and like it's weird. It's one of those things where it feels like it's slipped through the cracks, where it's just like somebody at Disney just loves those vibes, and like if you've looked into the making of Tron 1, it's like they put in so much love and effort into making that movie. Like it was impossible, like what they achieved. It was like so hard. Like they did like something like 4 or 5 or 6 like optical passes. But like, but like
I should run it back.
It doesn't. No, it's
still,
not.
There's some respect for like that innovation at the time. I love that.
Watch a making of Tron. What I'm saying is watch a making of Tron, and that's incredible and amazing. Okay. But watching Tron, no.
Have you played that Tron Atari game that's at the arcade?
Like once.
I played.
That's actually fun. It's got like 4 games contained.
Yeah. In the Tron world in Kingdom Hearts is sick.
Discs of Tron, the arcade cabinet that has the enclosure and the like environmental effects, and like you spin the like wheel to throw the disc or whatever. That game rips so hard.
We're throwing the movies out. Nobody can watch them anymore.
Keep the arcade games.
We're erasing them. We'll keep the arcade shit. Yeah.
Tron is one of those things where it's like I like it. I like the vibes, but I don't want to watch the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul.
And what's her name? Olivia Wilde. She can ride on the motorcycle with me.
I mean, she's she's a stunning goddess. But I mean, also shout out to one of my favorite YouTube channels, Pop Culture Detective, who coined Born Sexy Yesterday in one of their videos about, in no small part, Tron Legacy. Great video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Their videos are all great. Paul Rogers' most anticipated movies of the year. After a disappointing year for superhero movies, 2025 is looking like it's going to deliver. Looking forward to all the big superhero movies: Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and especially Superman.
Yes,
we're
all
getting
four
Thunderbolts
of those.
and Fantastic Four this year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Months apart, dude.
Good
Captain
God.
America is in a week or two, and then
like 12 days.
Yeah, and then in a couple months later is Thunderbolts.
I thought they were like slowing the pace. I thought they were doing one movie a year or something like that. I guess not.
We are now getting on the track to Avengers. It begins with Captain America.
We're in phase 5 now.
End of 5. Let's go.
Just forget about the whole Kang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're dust on my face. What is
getting
this?
right on track again. I've got such high hopes for Captain America.
I've got high hopes. Okay.
Big hopes.
Where's that song from? We're also getting a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie this year, so expect great things.
I want to talk about this.
A new Final Destination movie, one of my favorite horror franchises, Wicked 2, Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho, Ballerina, Pixar's new movie, Elio, and Zootopia 2 from Disney, and lastly, Avatar 3. We're eating well in 2025.
Avatar 3! You also left one key one out. So key.
This is just one person's comment.
I know, but this person had everything. Everything except one.
Which one?
Frankenstein.
Guillermo.
Yes.
Guillermo. Finally doing it.
Got to talk about that PTA they dropped there.
Yeah.
I can't slide by because PTA used to be my favorite, and he fell off a little lately with the he did the Thomas Pynchon one, which
Inherent Vice
sucked because
I didn't like
Thomas
that one.
Pynchon's my favorite author, and I thought that was a shitty book and a shitty adaptation. And I was so disappointed. My favorite author, my favorite director, the combo was just awful. And then Licorice Pizza, I also did not like.
I never bothered. I never watched that one.
Licorice Pizza.
I won't.
Phantom Thread.
I won't destroy that. Well, Phantom Thread was great.
Yeah.
Phantom Thread was the last movie of his that I really liked.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with you there. So, let's talk about this great movie we can look forward to.
But that's interesting you didn't like Licorice Pizza. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah. A lot of it was fun, and then I had some problems by the end of it. But this movie is also a Pynchon adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon novel that I think is great, Vineland. Vineland is also thought of as a smaller Pynchon book. A lot of people don't like it. It's about California and how the hippies all sold out and became like
in
FBI,
The
Line. Or they became like police or bankers or things like that. And it's about how California reshaped from like this like hippie paradise into like this capitalist nightmare. It's a very cool book. And so this PTA movie is based on that book. And it's called One Battle After Another. Has Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor in it. It's got a really big budget, over like $100 million. It's supposed to be like a huge action movie with car chases and stuff like that. Yeah. Which his like biggest like tentpole type movie that like a lot of people might see who aren't into art movies, just because they're gonna cut I think like trailers for it to get like regular folks to go see it, which will be very, very interesting. And hopefully after a little bit of practice, maybe he'll nail the Thomas Pynchon tone, which is kind of hard to do. So I'm very excited to see if he can get back in the swing of things, hopefully.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He will.
I think this one's going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't Wes Anderson have another one coming this year? And I'm really excited for, what is it, Wake Up Dead Man, Get Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out.
Oh, I can't wait to see another Knives Out.
I love it.
I love that series.
Yeah, I just snack on them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul Rogers continues, I don't really have any huge Oscars takes, except hoping that Wicked can get a few awards, because I loved it. I also loved it. Also, I finally forced myself to watch Emilia Perez. I did try to go in with an open mind and judge it without any outside influence. I can at least confidently say that putting aside the criticisms from the trans and Mexican community and judging solely on its own merits, it's still absolute garbage. The songs are awful almost without exception. The story fumbles almost every idea or interesting story beat it presents, and it may be the worst Oscar film I've ever watched. There's been some clunky Oscar films, Green Book, Crash, Driving Miss Daisy, yeah, but none have been as actively terrible as this. Here's hoping it is roundly ignored by the Academy voters. I can't
with the way the wind is blowing, I could totally see it winning like 1 or 2, And that's happened before. Movies get like 8, 9, 10 nominations and win like 0 or 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's interesting because I don't know when the Academy actually votes. So if they've put in their votes already, I could see it like they maybe have bought the hype already. I could also see them like misinterpreting the hate and like voting for it like punitively, like thinking that it's trolls hating on it. I don't know. I also like, more and more I don't care about what the gerontocracy thinks, like a bunch of rich fucking people. Like your opinions are irritating and destroying the world.
For your favorites.
Oh, for sure.
And at its when I'm at my like just sitting on the couch with my family, like I try to be like my most naive, passionate, hopeful self every time I watch the Oscars, where I'm just like, celebrate movies, like get all the normies in here to like watch some good shit. Like, let's just celebrate them, like it's like just, something like something like The Brutalist or something, or even like a Nora, like where it's like, if those don't get nominated, like so many people don't even know about them.
I mean, it is always such an interesting mix of like smaller, actually like artistic merit, projects with artistic merit that get in, and then just like corporate, like campaigned weird, like sideways picks, like some of the like bigger things that get in there, and it's like
I'm going for the substance all the way, Isla.
Like
it's cool to get a horror movie nomination.
I mean, a horror movie nomination is huge, and I would love it if
they're more often. Yeah.
Well, and also like it's actually about like and succeeds at being about what it's reporting to be about, so like that would be a refreshing win over Emilia Perez. But like, it's just a bummer that awards shows can't be fair, like because like
there's bias.
Well, there's bias. There's also just like the bigger things with a bigger budget will be seen by more people and will just get more votes because of math.
See, I kind of disagree with your take there, because so many of the Best Picture noms are so small budget.
No, for sure. But like there are movies that have nominations that shouldn't because of money. Is my point. Like in a fair
Netflix
fight, it would be just
So like, not just production budget, but like
no, marketing, campaign budget.
Got it.
Like there are people who refuse to campaign and never get nominated because they don't campaign, and then people who do campaign and get nominated all the time. And it's like, the people who campaign sometimes deserve to win, and they did an amazing job. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying it's like it's wrong. The system is kind of wrong because it's like weird and flawed in that regard, I think. Like. And it's hard or impossible to just actually have a fair fight and like where everything just gets in on merit, and like I don't know. Like the Game Awards, where it's like if you have a higher marketing budget and better graphics, like you're gonna get nominated because more people will have played it. Like that's just
that's just reality for sure.
Like to an extent,
Which is sad, because it's like these Academy, like if you're a member of the Academy, like watch the fucking movies. Watch fucking movies. What are you doing? Like, how dare you be an Academy member and not see all of the good movies? Like, it's your moral obligation as far as I'm concerned, for real.
I mean,
it's a privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get access to these things, it's a privilege. I get access to some things through my history and work in the industry, and I consider it a privilege. And I cram those things so I can talk about them on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting, like, because of Easy Allies, like, we get to play games and stuff crazy early sometimes, and it's an interesting, like, I try to give it a shake if I have access to them. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of this, like, it's my job. Anyway, Matthew D, it was just announced that the reboot of The Toxic Avenger is opening wide unrated on August 29th. Whoa. So it makes that my most anticipated movie of the year.
Funny.
Dude, an unrated movie.
Yeah, the first one was like a the original movie was one of those things when we were kids where it was like forbidden, and then we finally got it.
But then you had like trading cards on the playground of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I've never seen this. I don't know what this is, but I have a bunch of playing cards.
Literally, I'll never forget Guillermo del Toro always talking about horror, and he's just like, you need that one image that like stays with you. You need that one image that just gets you forever. And like Toxic Avenger has like 3 of those things, the original, where it's
oh God. There are some that I wish didn't stay with me.
Yeah.
I wish I could erase from my mind that once a year will blip into my head. I'm like, wish I never saw that.
From Toxic Avenger specifically, or just in general?
Yeah, from Toxic Avenger.
I never saw it. I've never seen it.
It's terrible, but
it's terrible.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible movie.
Leaves a mark, that's for sure.
Leaves a mark.
And I always remember the most insane part is when, like, that's a scene that'll always be with me my whole life, is when they're in the car and they're trying to run people over, and they're like,
that's the thing for me,
for points. So it's like, you run them over and you crush their head, you get bonus points or whatever, and they're just like trying to like run people down. It is insane.
These are the bad guys,
right? This kid,
these are all bad guys.
Kid is terrible.
Holy shit!
Terrible movie.
Maybe I have seen this and I blocked it out because that sounds familiar.
But now this new one, freaking Elijah Wood.
Blocked it out. I want to block it out.
Elijah Wood in this new one looks crazy, and like I love
Elijah Wood.
We love him.
Yeah.
And he looks absolutely unhinged in this, so I want to see it.
He plays a good freako. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like an unsettling freak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's so like warm and likable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Crazy.
Next up, Cotolito says, the movie release I'm looking forward to the most is Discotech's upcoming release of Space Adventure Cobra the movie with the manga entertainment dub. Yes, I already own this movie on multiple formats, but this includes the superior Yellow soundtrack, Yello. It's all mostly stuff from their 1991 album, Baby, and it fits that movie so good that if you have seen it, it's almost hard to watch it with the original Japanese score. But due to anime licensing shenanigans, it has not been available since the VHS release in the late 90s. Whoa.
You're a real anime fan when you're like, this isn't the correct dub, this isn't the correct aspect ratio, I don't like the subtitles on this release of Neon Genesis. Yeah. Shout out to a real one.
I need to watch that. I don't know what that is. But I'll watch this version, hopefully. That sounds cool. New movie I'm looking forward to most is 28 Years Later. Oh my god, best trailer ever, maybe?
Yeah, let's go.
Like, using that performance of that poem, holy shit. I was hoping for a long time after weeks that we would get a month, but as years turned into a decade plus, I thought it would stop at that. I'm really curious that what Danny Boyle does with it after this many years. TV shows I'm looking forward to most is Aliens Earth, perhaps Against Better Judgment, but I'd choose Hope. Classic anime of the month is Demon City Shinjuku from 1988. From 1888, one of the first animes. It's a great horror ride from creators of Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D. Fuck yeah, dude. Killer animation, killer soundtrack, cheesy demon action. Lastly, I'm really glad that all of you seem to have made it okay through the fires. Stay safe, love, and respect. Yeah.
I've seen a Demon City. That's a ride.
I've seen Ninja Scroll and I love Vampire Hunter D.
Seen Demon City. They do some stuff in those late 80s. Yeah.
Ninja Scroll was the first anime I ever saw. And my little brain wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing to that lady? No. I was like 12. Freeze. That's the name. Hi all. Like many others here, my most anticipated movie of 25 is probably Mickey 17. Been on a bit of a Bong Joon-ho kick lately and absolutely adore stuff like Okja and Parasite. Very much looking forward to another one from him. Yeah, I'm really excited for Mickey 17. Also, I love
It
that
stalled for a little while, right?
Yeah, I think it did, yeah. But the market, I love that the marketing cycle for this is just Robert Pattinson, like, doing fun stuff. Like, they gave him, like, the color season test, and he was just, like, thrilled. Like, I've never seen him happier than on this marketing campaign, this PR campaign, where he's, like, barely talking about the movie. It seems great.
Wasn't Mickey 17
He's a
based
deep
on
winter.
an adaptation of something really cool? Like a novel or
maybe
author
a
or
manga? Something
Would
like
not
that?
surprise me. Everything is based on words and previous texts.
I feel like
Every single thing ever made, it feels like.
if it's something that I was like, when I read it, yeah. Oh well. We can continue. I don't
Based
wanna
on a
slow it
2022
down.
novel, Mickey 7,
Boom.
by Edward Ashton, they added 10.
Boom.
10 more, 10 crazier.
7 wasn't enough.
Yeah, this one goes to 17, dude.
Added a whole 10 to it. Cool.
Holy shit,
yeah,
wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
Freeze goes on. A more niche pick would be Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. They're doing a movie this year? Not sure if any of you have seen Nirvana the band, the show. I have. But it's a comedy series by the guys who made the famous Update Day video, best video on the internet, and also the movie Blackberry, inexplicably, which I have not seen. They're making a movie out of it, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Should be a great laugh. Yeah, I think they're really funny. Lastly, for TV, I'll throw out that I'm hyped for the second season of Nkuti Gatwa's Doctor Who. Absolutely love the first run, and if anyone's ever wanted to get in, now is the perfect time. You can just start with Nkuti's first episode, The Church on Ruby Road. I watched that. It made me cry on Disney+. Plus. Highly recommended. Particularly the 4 middle episodes of the first season are some of the best Doctor Who ever. Yeah, I watched 73 Yards or whatever. I need to go back and watch the whole season, but I was really loving his Doctor. Colt Smith, hello lovelies. Most anticipated is likely Mickey 17, but I'm really hyped for so many. The new Gundam movie looks great. The final Conjuring movie will be a good time, even if it's junk food. Is Guillermo's Frankenstein this year or next? This year, baby, hopefully.
Yep.
Shit, I can't remember.
I think they literally just put a date on it.
Okay.
I think it's like a holiday deal. Oh, just 2025 still. But
Okay.
I think it's like about to be in November.
November.
Yes. Gonna be fucking good.
Also, Wake Up Dead Man and Superman are going to be a good time, and I'm sure there will be some indie horror or foreign film I don't know about that will end up in my top 5 as usual. Hell yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh yeah.
Fede Crow.
Fede Crow.
Fede Crow.
What up?
Most anticipated movie, currently a tie between Avatar Fire and Ash and Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. Oh shit, yeah, Mission Impossible, dude. Because given the track record of both franchises, those films promise to be a cinematic spectacle, the likes of which we don't usually see.
I gotta watch Dead Reckoning 1 again. It was
I
the
need to
only
rewatch.
Mission Impossible that I came out and I was like, it was okay.
Yeah. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it.
Finale will
There's a
be
potential for Reifu in the final one. I know what happened in Dead Reckoning, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed. Do you think there's a possibility she may?
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking
For,
with that shit. Truly,
for
I don't
Rebecca
know
Ferguson?
What the fuck.
Yeah.
You've backed me into a spoiler here, but
You thought you saw her in the trailer, right? Was that you who were like, I saw a glimpse of her in the trailer? Right?
that wasn't me.
that wasn't you.
I haven't seen the Final Reckoning trailer.
Same, yeah, I avoid it.
Okay.
Because they always give away the best stunts. I want to really try hard to avoid it all this time.
I
They
did
give away everything.
I watched the trailer and
Yeah.
I did not see her, but anyway.
Must avoid.
They haven't I can't answer this question.
Okay,
I mean, I've already
don't
answered
answer
it by my
Yeah.
hesitation. You can
I'm
assume
sorry.
why.
I didn't mean to get into. I don't feel spoiled by anything. Okay.
Same.
I would
same
doubt
anymore.
she's in it. Let's say that. But let's
Okay.
see. Also, no. But as an actor, she said she bowed out because
Silo.
well, because the way they shoot Mission, she's like, I love Mission, I love it so much, but the way they shoot, there's barely a script. You just have to be on set, and if they call you, you show up and you do your thing. But it takes 2 years to make the movies. And she's like, in the period of time they've been shooting Mission, I've made 2 seasons of a show and 1 other movie. And I was like, yeah, okay. So yeah, to my knowledge, she is not in it, but yeah. She loved them, and her character was great.
And we loved her in them.
Yeah, in everything she's ever done.
For real.
Honorable mentions. Fede continues here. Honorable mentions to Superman, Wicked 2, Mickey 17, MCU movies, and the Karate Kid movie, if it respects Cobra Kai's legacy. Yeah.
Cobra Kai, February 15th.
Yes!
15th,
So soon!
Valentine's Day weekend.
There's
you
so
see what
many things
they-
coming out on Valentine's Day. It's crazy.
Did you see speaking of Netflix, did you see what they said about Stranger Things?
No.
You see the new quote?
No.
The Duffer Brothers, and this makes sense because I just rewatched that entire show, and the newest season was like remember when every episode was like really long, and the last 2 were like 2 big movies?
Yeah.
They said the final season is 8 blockbuster movies.
16 hours worth of Stranger.
God
That's what they
damn!
fucking said. They are literally like 8 blockbuster movies. Like, I'm already exhausted.
Holy
it was
shit,
like,
dude.
holy fuck.
I don't like waiting in between, but like I kind of liked the format of the 2 longer episodes where I was like,
Same.
these are just some Stranger Things movies. Like, got it,
Yep. Couple months, like a month or so later, however that long that was. Yeah, it's sick. I like that.
God damn, is there there's more Fear Street movies coming too.
Prom Queen.
Is that this year?
This year, 2025.
Dude!
Yes,
I hope those are
we're
good.
back. We are back, Isla. Let's go.
I
Those are amazing.
I want them
Yeah.
to be like, I'm greedy and I want them to be overtly lesbian still, but I'm like, probably they won't be because they've done that, but like,
Well, it better be the
I
same
want that for
person.
you also.
I hope so. I hope it continues with the same people, but like,
Yeah.
you never know. 'cause
Different
it's an
director
anthology.
already confirmed.
Oh, I
They kinda left
fucking
it on a
love
note
Fear Street.
where, yeah.
Well, the Leah Yannick, the woman, directed the first 3. Now this new one, some dude, Matt Palmer. I don't know. Let's hope.
Hey, some of my favorite people are dudes.
Let's
It's
hope.
okay.
Let's hope. Fear Street Prom Queen.
I hope it's good. Is it just one movie, or is it? Do we know? Or
That's
is
the
it-
only one announced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
the trilogy thing was so good because weren't they like?
Incredible.
Were they a week apart or a day apart?
A week. 1 week, 1 week.
Such a cool thing.
Yeah,
like,
it
oh
was
my
the
god.
best. God, that was
We
the
watched
best.
them because the 2 of you recommended them.
Oh really?
Hell
We
yeah.
watched them multiple times, Jessica and me.
Yeah,
Both
I've seen them multiple times as well. They're so good.
Yeah, we were hyped as fuck.
Representation matters. Anyway, most anticipated show, My Hero Academia, final season coming in fall. Daredevil Born Again, yeah, and Andor are all tied, hell yeah. Honorable mentions, Wheel of Time, Season 3, Hero Academia Vigilantes, spin-off of the main series, Squid Game Season 3, oh my god, there's a Season 3, Invincibles Season 3, and Reacher Season 3. Something else?
Reacher. Shout out. Just want to give that a shout out. It's an incredible show.
Oh my god. Something else, as a native Spanish speaker, Emilia Perez sounds to me as if everyone had Tommy Wiseau's accent, so you can guess my opinions about that movie. What annoys me especially is that Latin America has all but condemned this movie for its offensive depiction of Mexico, yet it seems Hollywood only cares about cultural appropriation when the culture is not south of the border. Yeah. Yeah, funny how America has that opinion, huh? Imagine if a German director that doesn't speak English directed a movie about a 9/11 perpetrator as the hero with an entirely Aussie cast. That's Emilia Perez for us. So also, Huber's right. The vibranium shield can absorb Red Hulk's punch. Listen, I know it can. I know about the vibranium shield. I'm not an idiot. Okay, I'm just thinking that like That doesn't make sense. His arm is still holding it. Like, even if it dissipates like 99.99% of the energy, his arm is liquefied. And like, even if the fucking wings and the nanobots and all that are taking like most of the energy, unless there's a thing that runs up his arm that takes all the energy
some new
to the
tech
wings,
that we don't even know about.
Like, if that happens, I'm totally on board. I'm like, I believe it. But like, a normal man's physiognomy, whatever, could not withstand that. That's all I'm saying. He's just a guy, which is cool. But like, Iron Man is in a suit, so the suit
some insane
can
shit.
It take the can take the force.
Yeah.
In the poster, it's just his arm. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm so hyped for that scene in the movie. I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
If Mackie is just like, boom, and it's like fine, then maybe I'll be like, yo, what the fuck?
Even
there needs to be some like impact for sure.
I mean, if it throws him, I'm like, great, perfect, wonderful.
Yeah.
No notes.
Yeah.
If even if he like takes it and the shield dissipates and the wings help like cushion, and even if he like gets up and just goes like, oh my god, then I'll be like, fine, great. Hulk. It's like, great, I accept this now. Like, they just have to acknowledge that he's a man.
Yeah.
He's just he's normal men. They're innocent men.
It is a man. So hyped.
For this month's correction, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is not a Guy Ritchie-esque movie. It is a film by Guy Ritchie himself and is not part of the Kingsman universe. It was another film with Henry Cavill in 2024 that was part of the Kingsman universe. The Argyle one or whatever. Tokyo Slim, most anticipated right now. Daredevil Born Again. Benson and Moorhead. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I forgot it was them. Sinners. Kugler. Oh,
Sinners
that looks so good.
Yeah. I just saw a trailer for that. Yeah.
Looks good.
It does look cool.
The Dead Thing. Elric Kane. Wait, what? Hang on.
Tokyo Slim dropping bombs.
Well, if this is Elric, wait, hang on. The Dead Thing, Elric Kane.
Quick
Holy
shout out for
fucking shit.
Alien Romulus getting Best Visual Effects Oscar nom. I just want to shout that out. Even though
The CG was fucking terrible.
even though there's that one CG shot. Yeah.
Dude, holy fuck. I know this guy. Elric Kane is a friend of mine.
Slim just
Crazy.
blew our mind. What happened?
No, Elric Kane, the director of The Dead Thing. I didn't know he was doing this. I know him. I edited his short film. I AD'd a short film. I AD'd his fourth crederited on IMDb. I AD'd and edited Tender. I know. Crazy. I'm calling Elric later and being like, "Give me work." It's just like, I want to edit your movies, bro. What the fuck? Holy shit, dude. Yeah, like I've worked with him for years. We did the Inside Horror show. Dude, congrats. That's awesome. I didn't know. Sorry, I'm just like freaking out right now. This is so cool.
Sick.
God damn. I'm a little jealous also, if we're being honest. No, that's tight. Holy shit. Oh, check out Tender if you can find it. I edited that.
I thought you were talking about the app for a second.
No, not Tinder, Tender. I was proud of that movie, dude. I gotta call up Elric. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wake Up Dead Man, Ryan Johnson. Life of Chuck, Mike Flanagan. Probably Superman. Some other stuff I forgot or haven't heard of yet. Catching up in 2024 movies. Challengers get snubbed while Emilia Perez having 13 nominations is WILD. Yes, it is. Mike Karwai. Oscar noms. I think the last time the Oscars really filled my heart with hope was either when Drive My Car was nominated for Best Picture or watching Bong Joon-ho's historic acceptance speech for Parasite way back in the start of 2020. Yeah, that felt good. While I think having a gold standard semi-populist award ceremony is a vital way to expose more people to some of the best movies of the year, I guess for a number of reasons, including revelations about how few of the nominated films many Academy voters will actually choose to watch, it's hard for me to stay invested, yeah. I'm glad to see the lovable Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong get recognized for their performance in The Apprentice, although it would have been nice if Stan and his A Different Man co-star Adam Pearson were nominated for that amazing film instead. Wasn't he nominated for, Oh, Sebastian Stan's nominated for The Apprentice. I thought he was nominated for A Different Man. That's weird.
Yeah.
I just saw his name and I was like, assumed it was a different man. Otherwise, amid any surrounding issues, Anora was probably my cinema-going highlight of 2024. I hope Sean Baker at least gets a screenplay win and will be rooting for Mickey Madsen all the way. Mickey Madsen? Incidentally, she and Isabella Rossellini recorded a long and underseen discussion for the Rap YouTube channel just prior to David Lynch's passing that I highly recommend. I heard parts of that. That was good. Anticipated movies for 25. Superman, Park Chan-wook's new film, No Other Choice. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And fingers crossed for Spike Lee's perplexing remake of Kurosawa's masterpiece High and Low. Won't be a repeat of what he did to Oldboy. That's all I can think of for now. So many others I forget.
Another one of those movies you just watch and you are like, fucking art. This is the best ever. I am so good.
Yeah, Kurosawa knew what he was up to. That's for
Y'all
damn
seen
sure.
Hidden Fortress?
Hell yeah.
The Star Wars type Kurosawa one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people say that George Lucas was influenced by Kurosawa, and you watch like the big ones, and you're like, yeah, I can kind of see it. And you see Hidden Fortress, and there are these two wacky characters that are almost exactly
3PO
like
and R2. Yep.
I haven't seen that one.
And you're like, oh shit, this is exactly like Star Wars. Yeah,
100%.
Beto's Burrito, Andor's second season. Like most people, Mike also mentioned Andor's second season. Like most people, I was a hardcore skeptic, but the first season was such high quality, mature ride that I actually looked like it wasn't filmed in the volume the entire time. Yeah, real locations, good stuff.
Skeleton Crew?
I haven't seen it yet.
Incredible.
For movies, I'm all in for the Chainsaw Man movie, which adapts one of my favorite arcs. Jason Wojnar. I suppose we might talk about these insane Oscar noms, lol. Well, that's what I wrote. Oscars can eat a fat one for nominating Yura Borisov for Anora. He has filmed movies in Russian-occupied Crimea and has still acted in projects in Russia post-2022, like an upcoming Pushkin biopic that was filmed in St. Petersburg in 2023. Will he or any of the Russian cast members of Anora use their victory lap during the awards season to condemn or even bring up the ongoing genocide Russia is committing in Ukraine? They haven't yet, so it's difficult to believe they'll start doing it now. Meanwhile, prominent Ukrainian filmmakers and actors are fighting on the front line, and many have already lost their lives. That's intense. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
I wouldn't think of that, and that's kind of like ignorant of me to think about, because a lot of times I'm like crossing my fingers and I'm like, say something about Palestine, and like, I'm like so excited when an actor wears a Palestinian flag, because I'm very try to be politically aware, but the Anora nominations just weren't on my radar. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you for enlightening us to that. Most anticipated movie of 25, Mission Impossible, Avatar, Superman. Also, Toxic Avenger remake is finally getting released after 2 years in limbo. The fact that this movie is that hard of a sell for distributors probably means it's going to be worth the wait. Anticipated show, Peacemaker Season 2, and the new anime Lazarus from Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Watanabe. Yeah, dude, Lazarus looks sick! I'm so excited for that. Oh yeah, Huber, I watched Creature Commandos. Did I tell you about that? I liked it. It was really good.
You told me you had watched the first couple.
Oh yeah, I finished it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good start. Yeah, really I was like, all right, we're on to something here. This is good.
You need to finish Cape Crusader, you faker.
I know. Cape Crusader and Fleabag season 2.
Dude, both
top priority.
Both god tier stuff, dude. Fleabag, top priority. Like, literally goat, but like
yeah.
Anything else? The Dovchenko Center in Kyiv finally put up its streaming platform for Ukrainian films. I probably said that wrong. Dovchenko? For Ukrainian films, there are classics like the highly influential 1929 documentary A Man with a Movie Camera, hell yeah, and Alexander Dovchenko's Earth, with a new soundtrack by Daka Braka. Dude, I love Daka Braka. Shout out, dude.
I just rewatched Man with a Movie Camera like a couple weeks ago.
Really?
And it's still mind blowing. I watched it probably 20 years ago.
I saw parts of it in film school, but I don't
watch it again.
I don't. My memory is very faded on it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I need to see it
so
again.
Innovative. Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. New soundtrack by Daka Braka.
Daka Braka.
Daka Braka
like
rips, dude. Oh, check out Daka
Sick
Braka.
name.
They're so good. Their Tiny Desk might be the most accessible way in, but they're great. I've seen them live twice. My dad loved them. Shout out to my dad.
Oh yeah, shout out.
There are also lesser known gems like The Voice of Grass, Chasing Two Hares, and The Eve of Ivan Kupalo. The latter is also being featured in a series of screenings in NYC curated by Robert Eggers as one of the movies that influenced Nosferatu. Just do a Google image search of that movie and you'll definitely get how it influenced folk horror movies. I think he talked about that one in the Alamo pre-show. He was talking about his influences and it showed shots from that. So yeah, totally. Zach Wojnar, back-to-back Wojnars, baby.
Hell yeah.
Avatar,
Double dip.
Avatar 3.
Bangers.
It's a what?
Back-to-back bangers.
Back-to-back bangers.
When you hear two good songs on the radio,
The
it's
Wojnar
back-to-back
bangers. Yeah. Hell yeah. Avatar 3, it's a wonderful and bizarre cultural sensation that the internet community culture doesn't really understand that they don't represent the world. Remember when Avatar 2 was coming out and people were like, nobody talks about Avatar 2 anymore. Nobody cares. It's going to bomb. And then it grows $2.3 billion.
Bet against Cameron at your own peril.
Yeah, it reminds me of politics. Back in the day, people had their political beliefs, but mostly kept their thoughts about it limited to bumper stickers. Not to say that was necessarily a good thing, but in terms of the movies, I really like the idea of people watching a movie, loving it with all their hearts, and then shutting the F up about it until the next one comes out. Do we need 1,000 Screen Rant articles written by me? So Zach, written by Zach, about why Paya-kun is the best character ever? No, we just see the movie, absorb that information, and then go on with our lives until the next one. I love that. I can't wait to see what surprises, heart, and breathtaking action James Cameron has in store for part 3 and beyond. Yeah, I think that's a great point because I think like the stats with like our like at Easy Allies, like our Twitch chat or whatever, where it's like 4% or 10% of chat of the viewers are active in chat. And it's like it's really easy to think about the vocal members of a community, both on the positive sides and the negative sides, as being like representative of the whole, when it's like even I would say like the part of a community that chooses to engage at all is a very small like percentage of any community. So it's like it's often not representative of the whole because it's like 10% of the people actually even say anything. Like I watch Twitch streams and I'm never even in the chat. I turn the chat off. I don't look at it. Like GD Games Done Quick, I don't have the chat visible. Like I'm just watching the stream. And like I'm sure most people or a lot of people are like that even with our streams, even though we love seeing them in chat, but like yeah. Blah 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 blah. Where was I? And to everybody who says, "Oh, it's just Dancing with Wolves or Ferngully."
No, dude. Fuck anyone who says that for real.
To you, I say congratulations. You're so brave. There will be a parade. You're so brave.
Yeah.
There will be a parade in your honor in the internet sewer known as X. We got some takes. We got our community's getting spicy.
Avatar is the fucking best.
You down to size.
There are just the thing with Avatar. Quick 45-second rant, I promise. Like, obviously there are better movies, but like, one, it's a technical. Like, my love of tech and how a lot of movies like are like it is a technological medium But like, take all that aside, there are so few things in life that are like, or even if we're just talking about movies, that are this big of an event.
Yeah.
Like these event type like big releases are so fun, and a lot of them have been diluted. Like, we don't get as excited for a Star Wars movie, we don't get as excited for a Marvel movie, but like a big James Cameron epic coming out, I just feel like it's fun to be able to get excited about that. I don't know. That's just from like a very basic primal place. That's how I feel.
I mean, like, yeah, for me, the tech is the thing that draws me to those movies, and like I go see them in theaters, you know, because it's like that's how you see those. But like the characters and story have never grabbed me on Avatar personally, but like whatever. I mean, we've talked about this before, but like if the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one like actually starts being critical of the American military industrial complex that it seems to espouse the virtues of in the first two movies, well, they're kind of the bad guys, but it also like
they're totally the villains.
Well, they're the villains, but it's simultaneously like his character is like imposing like weird patriarchal like American values on this alien family, you know, like every time those sons called him sir, I wanted to crawl out of my skin, you know, because it's like...
Well, they do address that a little bit. Like Neytiri dresses him down. It's these are your kids. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like, and like if the movie is aware of that like dynamic and it becomes critical of it, like if his lesson is to learn like, hey, you're being a colonialist and imposing your views on this native people... Yeah. And like if he changes and grows and adapts and like finds the harmony of like the positive parts of his culture mixing with the parts of their culture, like if that's the point of Avatar, like if he gets there, then I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, Avatar all the way.
A lot of runway, baby. A lot of runway. Yeah.
And like
also,
movie
Edie
2,
Falco's character is going to be critical in 3. I like need her to be a good character because she was like teased into military. She's like on Pandora expanding, so she's going to be like this.
Is she a human?
Yeah, human American, like general. She's like a human American general that's in like 1 or 2 scenes in number 2.
Oh, yeah. I
probably
vaguely
gonna be
remember.
Huge in 3. So it's like, all right, let's get into motivations and all that.
Because in 2, it felt kind of like, okay, clearly you're saying that like this clear cutting and the American military and like this violence and stuff is not correct, while also saying like, hoorah, like classic American values are right, you know. And so I was like, the messaging of 2 was very muddled for me personally, but I'm hoping that was intentional and self-aware so that he can deconstruct it later. But I also realize, you know, it's a mass appeal movie, so who knows.
But also if like the humans are moving in to wipe you out, what are you going to do other than be hoorah military back? Like,
no, sure.
What do you...
And like, yeah, like is the best weapon against that, you know, a version of that. Like that's kind of what it's dealing with, I think. And like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just feel like I didn't like his kids calling him sir. That skeeved me out.
That's you. Fucked me.
Why?
You fucked me, Isla.
What?
You fucked me so hard.
Not that I recall, but you know, maybe I was drunk.
I rewatched Children of Men, and the blood on the camera literally ruined the movie for me this
sorry.
time.
I'm sorry.
The movie, the entire scene, I was like, this is bad. Like, get this blood off of the camera. She is right.
It was definitely of the time. It was of the time. There are a lot of movies that did that.
I mean,
the shaky cam of that time was all over the
God
place.
almighty.
That was language for this movie is real.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this real?
Greengrass
and feeling here?
Quaroning all over the place. But I mean, in his defense, didn't he say that he almost called cut when it got on the lens because he didn't want it there, but then the rest of the take was so good that he had to keep it. Like I forgive it a little bit because it's like he didn't. I think he actually did call cut, but no one heard him or something like that, and they just kept going.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Like I love that. Like that's like literally my nitpick about that movie.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies ever. One of my favorites of all time.
I just if I just think personally calling attention to the camera should be a choice.
Maybe with all these...
it doesn't have to be, but whatever.
Maybe with all these 4K AI remasters, the AI will remove the blood off the screen.
Without being told, it'll just do it.
Without being told, it'll just do it.
I watched a video recently about The Nick, the Soderbergh movie, and the 40-hour movie, the TV show The Nick, and like
so heavy.
Oh God, yeah. It's like one of those things that I loved more than anything, but had to stop watching because it was too fucking intense.
Yeah, it's so intense.
Anyway, we are running very long, so we got a couple more and then we're good. Zach Wojnar says, okay, back to hype. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning was, I think, the best movie in the whole series. Wow. So I'm thrilled to see how Tom Cruise and Tom McQuarrie bring it home. It's a take, but it wasn't bad. I like them all. Whatever.
Fallout easily. Fallout combination easily.
I like Ghost Prot too.
Oh, baby.
I like one. I like Mission Impossible. Whatever.
I like them all.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Even two.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't give a shit. Even
Best
two.
in the series. Two. I'm all in on the MCU movies coming out this year too, but I'm really psyched for James Gunn's Superman. He's my favorite filmmaker right now, and Creature Commando's an absolute 10 out of 10 in my books, so the ball's in his court. Yeah, I really like Creature Commandos.
Oh, great.
As for the Oscars, Jason the Wojnar will say it better than I can regarding Nora, so I will leave it to him. He did. Garrett Hullfish, movie Mickey 17, most anticipated. Already a fan of Bong Joon-ho's movies. And this one looks absurd in a really interesting way. Plus, Robert Pattinson has had hit after hit in his roles. Hell yeah,
he's on fire.
Shout out to Ke Huy Quan in Love Hurts. I really hope Love Hurts is good. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that also come out on Valentine's? It's like crazy. Games and movies this February.
Yeah. I hope that's good.
I hope it's good. I liked Nobody.
Trailer, but
feels like a paycheck movie.
Yeah, I liked Nobody.
Is that the same director?
Same Nobody? It's on the Billboard. Same somebody, producer, director, whatever.
The Bob Odenkirk Nobody, or I'm thinking of
a
different Nobody. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that makes me even more interested then. Great.
Show White Lotus season 3. I'm both excited and nervous for. I loved the first 2 seasons, so my expectations are really high. I've been avoiding info so I can go in fresh. Only a couple weeks left. And shout out to Alien Earth. Yeah, I loved White Lotus season 1, but I didn't like season 2, so I'm hoping season 3 comes back into it.
What about these gays are trying to murder me?
I loved that. That
part was incredible.
Iconic. There are some iconic moments for sure. Max Miller says, whatever Britt Marling and Zal Batmanglij.
One of my favorite duos.
How do you say his last name? I don't know.
It's there's a Batmanglij.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Sorry.
That's it.
I'm bad at pronouncing names. The OA, Sound of My Voice, and Murder at the End of the World, whatever they've been cooking up in whatever form it takes. I always love their stuff, but I think like they don't always land the plane. So I'm always in though. I enjoyed Murder at the End of the World, and the Sound of My Voice is incredible. Yeah. Colin Newton says Andor. Hell yeah. Willie Diaz, Mickey 17. As soon as the movie was announced, I bought the book and really enjoyed it. Plus, Bong Joon-ho doesn't miss. Oliver Leland says Mission Impossible and New Karate Kid are on my list, but most anticipated is the Edgar Wright's adaptation of The Running Man. Hell yeah. Even though his post-Hot Fuzz material hasn't reached those heights, I always enjoy the ride, and I feel like all of his movies get better on subsequent viewings. I love his attention to detail, yeah. I'm curious about his Running Man, because I always enjoyed Running Man as a kid. Last one, Carl Williams' most anticipated movie, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I mean, it's Avatar, for me at least. The previous 2 installments haven't missed, and James Cameron is still the best in the biz when it comes to shooting action sequences in movies. Can't wait for this to hit $2 billion at the box office like the previous 2 films.
Let's go.
One more thing I'd like to add, since we had a discussion on cameos a few months back, and with the recent passing of David Lynch, I want to give a special shout out to Lynch playing John Ford in Spielberg's The Fabelmans, a great filmmaker playing another great filmmaker in a movie directed by another great filmmaker. Doesn't get better than that. And if you haven't seen it, check out Lucky, starring Harry Dean Stanton with Lynch in a supporting role. Great film.
Fabelman's seriously one of my favorite, one of my top 10 of the last many years for sure.
I never saw
loved it so deeply.
Oh wow, okay. That's it. We did it. We talked about our most anticipated films.
Hell yeah.
Were there any that you're anticipating that weren't said?
Yeah, there's a
Hit us.
There's a new Julia Ducournau. I don't speak French, so I think that's how you say her name. The director of Titan.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a new movie coming this year, which to me, that's going to be my avatar. My thing.
Hell yeah.
I like.
I've watched
What's
her
your
draw,
avatar?
And I was like, I can't wait till whatever Titan is comes out, and then Titan exceeded my expectations. Titan, I wasn't sure if I hated it or loved it when I saw it, and then 3 days later I was like, I loved it. I've thought about it almost daily since. Poor Jessica, every day she's had to hear from me still since. You know, the thing about Titan is, and then I'll talk about it for 10 minutes, the way it deconstructs masculinity. Yeah.
That's another movie where it's like after I finished it, I was like, I guess this is a movie about the trans experience. Like, okay, like, whoa.
I'm still not sure what it's about exactly, but. And I don't even know if Titan knows what it's about.
Yeah.
But I love movies that just needle away at me. It has a lot to say about a lot of things, and just it leaves them unfinished.
Plus, you love a movie like Good Crash. If somebody's fucking a car, you know something's going right. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she's got a new movie, something about a disease. That's all I know, but that's good. That's good enough for me. I'll watch it. Somebody's daughter has a disease. That's all I know.
Uh-oh.
I'm so in. I'm so in for that. And then Yorgos Lanthimos is doing like a remake of this Korean movie called Save the Green Planet. Save the Green Planet is this. I saw this maybe like 15 years ago. It's one of those things when like Korea was starting to make all these like really like upcoming wild, intense, violent movies like Old Boy and things like that. And then like I first started paying attention to Korean cinema, and Save the Green Planet was one of those. And like Yorgos Lanthimos, I mean, it's almost too explosive of a combination. I don't know how that will turn out, but I'm definitely gonna go see it. So those two. Those two are just the
Speaking of
I'd like to make.
It's great, yeah, just to piggyback on that, Hong Jin-na, who did The Wailing and The Yellow Sea and The Chaser, he like literally has made like 3 movies in like 15 years, more than that, like almost 20 years. He has one coming out with Fassbender actually, and Vikander.
Whoa.
So I think it'll like be a little more commercial. It's supposed to come out this year. It's like a sci-fi thing. It's very under wraps. There's not a lot of details about it, but I know they're in it. But and there's still a lot of Korean people. I think it's like a co-Korean and American thing. But like
that might be the.
He's made 3 of like guy. He's made 3 of my favorite movies like ever: The Chaser, The Yellow Sea, and The Wailing. Like straight up 3 of my favorites of all time. So like now number 4. Let's go.
Oh no, it's a different director. Okay, I was thinking it might be the same guy as Save the Green Planet. No, it's somebody different. Yeah.
Very hyped for that. Also very hyped for the confirmed 3-hour and 12-minute runtime of Avatar 3. Let's go.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. All these sound great to me. I'm into everything. Wicked Part 2, that'll be fun. Yeah. I think I've said what I was anticipating throughout the episode, so yeah.
Same.
But
okay, 2025 has something
to look forward
graces.
To. Yeah, something to look forward to. Cool.
Right at the end, light at the end of the tunnel is Avatar in December. Let's just gotta get to there. The beacons are lit, dude. James Cameron's lighting the beacons.
What's coming out in 2029? Like we can look forward to that.
Fucking probably Avatar 6.
Probably Avatar 4.
Yeah, for real.
It seems like all hope
2029
is
4.
lost.
Yeah, actually, tentatively, you're right.
2029.
2029 Avatar 4.
Oh my god, dude. I do kind of miss him making a different thing, but whatever.
I know. Totally. I wish he Nolan'd it, and I wish he had some sick action thriller in between.
Yeah, just
Avatar.
check out like a Terminator style thing between.
Like even after 3, make your trilogy and then like make one and then come back to Avatar 4.
One for me, one for me.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening or watching. And again, if you want to support, patreon.com/reactionshots. $3 gets you everything. So think about it.
All of us.
We would really appreciate it. We're $1 a piece. We're cheap.
All 3 of us.
We're cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck us $1. All right. Next month we will talk about something, and we'll see what the fuck is happening then. Give us a positive rating on whatever. Give us a like. Tell your friends. We appreciate you. Stay safe. And I hope everything is okay where you are.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty weird over here. All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Hubie.
Thank you all. Always a pleasure.
Always.
Bye.
Bye.